Welcome to the Bom in BricsCAD BIM breakout session. I can say bom dia, directly from Brazil, São Paulo. It is a great pleasure to be with you. My name is Felipe da Silva Brandão. I am a civil engineer, work as a pre-sale solution consultant. We'll be together in about 20 minutes to show some of the properties of the BOM, this amazing functionality, how to create a schedule, how to do many operations with it, and then insert it in our projects. The main topics will be the generation of window, a door, and also a material list. We will learn how to extract the necessary amount of information we need using the BricsCAD BIM, and to do so, we will use some basic and also advanced operations. We will see how to sort, how to filter in many different ways, how to aggregate values, how to combine columns, add customized property, and also formula. Please take your seat and let's start. Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to use BOM, or also called bill of materials, to generate the schedules and also extract the necessary quantities for your project. We start by using the BIM project browser. It is a browser that contains important information about the project, such as the company logo, project name, and also others. If you cannot see this icon, you just have to right-click in any part of the panel, go to the panels, and then choose the BIM project browser. The most important part for us, it is inside the Files tab, and here we can see all the files inside the project folder. We have the schedules, and inside it we can see all the BOM files that we are going to use in this video. To open them, we just need to double click, or we can also right click and choose the open file command. Or here down, we can click in the plus button, and we have more options such as import schedules. It will allow us import schedules from other folders. And we also have the option New BOM, New Bill of Materials. Here, we can create a new schedule from a template, or we just need to provide a name for our schedule. Here we'll choose a door schedule. It will be our first one. We can see that it will open another panel that is called BOM Manager. And here we'll have many options. We can start by setting a filter for our schedule. If we want to select only the doors, we can do it by selecting the BIM and choosing the type property. Here we can see some conditions. We can choose the condition equal to and write the desired value. We can just write it, or it's also possible to click in the drop-down menu, and it will provide us all the available properties of our project. We can just select them and accept it. We can change the title for door schedule. We can add some columns, such as the number, the story, space, and also the construction type. We can do many operations using the BOM Manager. For example, we can sort the schedule. we go in the sorting. We can choose, for example, ascending order, descending order, or we just need to double click in the desired column. It's also important to notice that when we click in the rows, the elements are highlighted in the project. We also can right-click in a row and use the select option. And here in the properties panel, we can see all the information of the selected element. To add new properties to our schedule, we just need to know in which category this property is inside of. If we want to add, for example, a property for the height and width of the doors, they are inside the parameters category. So we just go to the parameters, and then we can add the columns for the width and also for the height. To change the units of the columns, we just select it. And here in the bill of material properties, we can see some settings for the columns and also for the schedules. Here in the column properties, we can change the way the units are placed using the unit placed parameter. Here we can change from the in-column title to an additional column, for example. So this option, we created a separated column for the units. But in our example, we'll just use the in-column title unit placement. To choose the units is also very easy. We can go down to the units mode, and we have some options such as the best for all values. It will choose the unit according to the values of the column, but we can also change it for example, user defined. So we will be able to choose other units. Using the unit parameter, we can choose, for example, meter, centimeter, or in our case, millimeter. Another advantage of using the BIM is the possibility of being able to zoom to the element. So we can select the element and we can also zoom to the element to see it better. And here, in this case, we can also detect some missing properties, such as the space. We can see that for the door number 2, the space properties is not assigned. So to do it, we just click OK and we save the schedule. We go to the space property of the door. This property shows which space this door will open to. In this example, this door will open to the space number 4. So we just select the space property and we select the space for this door. Now we have the space called hallway for this element. And if we go back to the BIM, we'll be able to see that for this door, the space is now correctly assigned. We can do many other operations with the schedules. For example, if we want to change the titles, we can go in the column properties and change it, for example, from space to room 2. And here in the construction type, we're going to change it to finish. And it's also possible to add properties that are not here in the properties panel. If we want to add some new user-defined property, such as the cost, it's totally possible. We just need to go to the data menu and choose the properties option. We can add a property set. In this case, we'll call it custom properties door. We can assign it to the categories we need. In this case, it will be just for the doors. And we add some properties. In this case, we are going to add the cost. It is a real type value. And we will also add the panel type for the doors. It will be of the kind of the type string and also unenumerated properties. For the enumerated properties, we can choose all the possible values for that. In this example, we'll choose 4 possible values, and they will be wood, aluminum, glazed, and also empty. Now we have 4 possible values for this property. We just accept it. We can see them in the properties panel. We can assign values for these properties. And we can also add them in our schedule. Just go back to the new created schedule and we search for the new created category that will be custom properties door. We can add the new properties. Now finish the door schedule. If we want to edit or create another schedule, we just click OK to save it. And then we can choose the order we need. In this case, it will be the window schedule. It is a very similar schedule. Here, the cost values, they are a red field for the element. And if we want to know the total cost for all the windows of the schedule, we just need to add a footer. And it can be, for example, of a footer for the sum. In the footer, we can see the total cost for all the elements of this schedule. We also have other great functionalities. For example, we can easily add thumbnails. Choose the Insert Thumbnails column. It will be automatically created images for all the elements. We can also change the settings of the thumbnails. For example, we can change the view type. We have many options available. If we want to see the top view, we just select it. And we'll have a new view for our thumbnails. So we have just finished another schedule. I will just unclip this section to be able to see the whole project. And we'll go to the last schedule that is called Materialist. Here we already have some columns for the materials inside the plies of the compositions of the elements. We have the column name. We also have some other properties such as the density of the materials and also some columns for the ply net volume. If we want to combine columns, we have the functionality called Add Template Column from Selected. And here we can give it a name. for example, apply net volume. And as we have 4 columns, one for the walls, other for the slabs, also the roof, and lastly for the columns. We can force them to be in the same unit. We do that by using the target unit. I'm choosing, in this case, cubic meter. Now we have the correct values for our column, which is accepted. We don't need the other columns anymore. We can just delete it. And another fantastic functionality of the BIM is the capacity of adding new formulas. We do that by using the evaluated columns and selecting formula column. We will use a formula to calculate the weight of the materials. It will be in kilograms. And to select the formula, we choose, in this case, the category formula, and we choose apply net volume that will correspond to these values. We can force it to be in the target unit cubic meter. And as there are more than one apply net volume, we can also write it the name formula to be the same of the values that are in the column. We multiply these values by the density of the materials. Now we will have a new column for the calculated weight. Besides setting a filter for the whole project that we did in the beginning, it's also possible to set filter for the columns. We just have to right click in the column and then using the option set column filter. If we want to filter to have only the materials containing the word concrete, we choose the parameter contains, and then we write the word concrete, and we accept it. We can see that some columns, some rows are repeated. To aggregate these values, we can right-click in the volume column, and we can use aggregate function to sum all of these values. We can also set filter for numbers. So in this case, if we want to have only the rows containing concrete and values larger than 5 cubic meters, we can add a filter in this column as well, using the parameters greater than, and in this case, the quantity 5. Now finish another schedule, and the last one. We will add all of the schedules in our sheets. To do so, we go back to the BIM project browser. We can go in the sheets. We'll see all the sheets of our project. There is one for the schedules and the list. And to insert them here, we can just drag and drop, and we can easily insert all of our schedules here. It's very easy to adjust the height of the schedules. We just click in the grip points. And to keep adding it, we can just drag and drop the other lists. Lastly, the door schedule. And that brings me to the end of the video. Thank you for being with me. I hope this content is of great use for you. If you have any kind of question, please do not hesitate to send us a message. We will be very happy to answer it. And also check out the other videos of my friends in the BricsCAD Digital Summit. Muito obrigado. It's again a great pleasure to be with you, and see you next time. Bye bye.